Okay. Hey, everybody who showed up. We are live. Thank you all for coming in. Um, Justin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Justin.
I don't.
I have like a million YouTube channels that I don't do anything with. But yeah, no, Natalie reached out to me last week. She was like, "Hey, you like horror movies? I like horror movies. Let's talk about horror movies." Like, hell yeah, I'm in. So here we are. We're gonna talk horror movies. I'm excited. It's one of the few things in life I actually like. So here I am.
Sorry about that echo, guys. I had a different. I had another window open. Okay. Great. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. So we're just going to talk about movies tonight. We're just going to talk about horror movies and like maybe a little bit of resale. Not really, but it may come up, and that's fine. And I just thought we would I have a few questions written down to ask Justin. And the reason I wanted to have him on here is because we kind of were chatting about horror movies like in his chats. He'll go live every couple days or so now on his channel, and I found out he liked horror, and I'm constantly like, hey, what about this movie? What about this movie? And I thought, like, how fun would it be if we just can talk about horror movies, without all the other stuff going on? And I also thought, like, hey, maybe some other people might like to join. So let's see. Hi, Thrift Mine. Tracy doesn't even like horror, but she's here anyway. Thank you. Georgina. Hi, Georgina. Hi, Cernock. Couple of pickers. Tommy. Who is Justin? He introduced himself, so you know who he is now. All right. So I guess we can just get into it. So how are things with you with the whole pandemic thing going on? I know you, I just saw where you picked something up, like in person, on someone's porch.
Yeah, so it was weird. A viewer emailed me, and they're like, "Hey, I got XYZ to sell." I was like, "Hey, I'm not really doing local deals right now because of the pandemic. So is there any way?"
Yeah.
I don't want to see. Like, wasn't trying to be rude, but I was like, "I don't want to see you." You know what I mean? So he's like, "Hey, that's no problem. We're gonna be at work anyway, me and my wife. So we'll just put the stuff on the porch. You put the money under the mat. Obviously, we think you're good for it. You're not going to steal the stuff, which obviously I wouldn't, because I mean, come on, that would go everywhere. But so yeah, I put my mask on, put the money under the mat, grab the stuff, and it was no different than going to my storage unit solo. You know what I mean? Way less dangerous than going to like the pharmacy or grocery store. So, but
yeah.
But now, full transparency. Me and Gabby are both sick right now. I think it's just allergies or cold or something. But yeah, it's we're both soldiering on right now. Both woke up feeling like crap.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. What about sales? Like, how are sales going?
I mean, my sales from like last year this time are down about 28% on my primary account. I didn't have my second account.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I didn't have my second account last year, so I can't really compare that. But a part of that is, though, the inventory I currently had was not great. Like I listed all the stuff that I picked up on Friday, and I've already pulled through like almost. I paid $70 for everything, and I think so far as of like this evening, I've made about $200 off that buy, and I still haven't listed any of like the actual like big pieces. All of my list is the video games. So.
Yeah, I feel like all the good stuff is basically gone. Like all of my good stuff, I'm basically digging right now. I did that one pickup that I showed in a video, and that's kind of like my newer stuff. And that's actually one thing is sold. So I can't wait to go out there.
Yeah.
And now we have like two more. Stay-at-home order has been extended to. I'm sorry, May 15th.
Gotcha.
So it's going to be a while.
Ours is still June 10th here in Virginia. So
June 10th. Oh my God.
Yep.
Well, talk about scary. So, okay, let's get right into it. What's the last scary movie that you watched?
last night I watched Society. I
Okay.
saw it back in like 97 when I was like, how old would I have been in 97? Let's do math. Like 12, 13, something like that. But anyway, I saw it in 97. I didn't remember it worth a damn, so I gave it another watch. And yeah, that was fun. It's like one of those body horror films, you know what I mean? So it's not like a slasher or a supernatural thing, but it has like this kind of like upper class versus lower class like narrative, and you know the upper class are really these like creatures that are eating the lower class. It's a bizarre movie. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a very bizarre movie from 1990.
I have. Actually, we watched these guys called Red Letter Media, and one of the guys really recommended Society, and I love his recommendations. I like just about everything he recommends, and I watched it, and I wouldn't say like I didn't love it for some reason, but I appreciated the effects on it.
Right.
And for some of these movies, I'm sorry, we may get into spoilers, but yeah, like at the end, there's kind of like a whole, kind of like a flesh orgy going on.
Literally,
But
they're not like
it
a
is very
sexual orgy, like literally, like
right,
yeah,
right.
it's weird.
Yeah, they're all meshing together,
right,
monster
and, like,
stuff.
I
Yeah.
love when the daughter pops out of the mom's vagina in the bedroom. Like, geez.
Yeah, definitely it's got some like class stuff going on there. I didn't really understand why the kid, like the boy, the protagonist, he was even adopted. I don't remember.
They
that stuff.
adopted him to be like I guess like choice beef. You right? So like it was like kind of like they bought like a young cow and they raised it to the point of maturity to the people.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
That's what happened, right? Yeah, cool. I think I told you we were going to start The Exorcist 3. And The Exorcist is one of my favorite movies of all time. But I think I heard there were sequels, but I had always heard they weren't very good. And recently I've been hearing a lot of talk about how The Exorcist 3 is just really, really good.
Wait, is 3 Exorcist the beginning? Is that the one that came out like in the early 2000s? Because I know Heretic came out
1990.
1990. Have I seen it? I'm gonna keep talking. I'm just googling the
post. Yeah, no. Someone was even saying it was better than The Exorcist, and I was like, no way. There's no way it can be better than The Exorcist. But I had to go to work the next day, and so we only watched like half of it. But it's definitely not better than the original, but it's worth a watch. And Brad Dourif from Chucky is in it. And I don't know if any of you know like Brad Dourif's acting, but he is so much more than just Chucky, the voice of Chucky. Like his voice is amazing on its own, but he is also like a phenomenal actor. Very, very good. He did a lot of like stage stuff. But yeah, he's in The Exorcist 3 and he's amazing. So worth a watch. Like I said, and it's got some weird stuff in it too.
It's on Shudder for free. So if you have a Shudder subscription, there you go.
We saw it on Prime.
Cool.
So I think it recently came out on Prime.
Nice.
Yeah, so give that a watch. Okay, so like when did you first get into horror movies? Like as a child, or was it a little later? Or?
Definitely as a kid. So it's funny because I was raised in a very religious house, right? My parents were like very, very fundamental Baptist, but you remember like the VHS stores back in like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
My stepdad, when he came into my life, he got married to my mom when I was 6. One of the ways that we bonded, believe it or not, is like we would go to the movie gallery. It's what it was called, or movie time, or something. Anyway, it was like a mom and pop blockbuster essentially, and we would go in there and we just started renting all the Nightmare on Elm Street films and all the Friday the 13th films, and then we got into like the Chucky, the child play films, and we would rent them all and like watch them all on the weekends. When my mom was, I don't know what she was doing, she didn't watch them, but she didn't really approve of it. But yeah. I just got really into horror movies from then. And I've always, I was probably maybe, because this is before they were married, I was like 5 watching this stuff. And I just fell in love, man. And I've just been a huge fan ever since.
Yeah. Kind of same with me. So I think maybe a lot of people who like horror, like who really love the horror genre, probably get into it as a child. Like my husband, he likes a good horror movie. I love the genre, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
So I got into it as a child because my dad, he always loved movies, and he would put stuff on, and he would always get weird stuff. And yeah, like at these mom and pop shops, VHS shops, you could find weird stuff. Like I developed a love of the movie Sleepaway Camp from way back. I mean, like I watched that as a child, and then we would go to like sleepovers with other kids, and we'd go to the movie store. I'd be like, "Ooh, we should get Sleepaway Camp," and like that would scare the hell out of me. I mean, I loved it, and so now I have like the whole like set and VHS, which goes for a little bit of money. If you can find like the older versions of this, worth very, very good money.
What's her name? Felicia. I can't. That's her name, right? The girl in the movie. The actress's name.
Yes.
She goes live on Instagram like every other day. Like I'm always like whenever I go on Instagram, it's like her little story icon, and I don't know if you follow her or not, but she's always going live. Like there's only like usually like 50 or 60 people watching her too, so it's pretty funny. She's
Felicia Rose.
Yes, yeah. And she does, like Jake says, I don't know if you watched Monster Vision back in the day or
yes,
The Last Drive-In that's on Shudder now, but Joe Bob Briggs, she's like the mangled penis expert they call in every now and then. So it's a little like running gag on the show.
I hadn't seen her on The Last Drive-In. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I remember like Darcy the Mail Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and Felicia Rose still looks amazing. Like I know she did that kind of young.
Yeah.
When she was, her family was just like, yeah, go do this thing where you have to, where at the end, you'll be fake naked with killing people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess her family had, and I think she said, in an interview, like all of her cousins were in that movie. Like they needed extras, and she just like called up family.
That's so great.
Yeah. But yeah, at one point I worked at a movie store, VHS store, when I was 18, and one of the best jobs I ever had. I didn't like my bosses so much, but and it was, just like this like small place, and I would kind of curate the horror section. Like it was in one quarter, and I would, put like Stephen King horror. I would put labels on stuff. But yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get into any like podcasts about movies, horror, or?
I don't really. I don't know the guy personally, but not really podcasts. There's a horror channel that I like to watch occasionally. I just clicked on the video by accident. It's the guy. What is his name? Dumb Drums or something. I watch him on YouTube. He's pretty good. I don't know him or anything, so he could be a douchebag in real life. I don't know, but I like his videos. As far as podcasts go,
who is that one more time?
Dumb Drums, I think is what it is. I'm looking.
Okay.
Like one word, but yeah, he does like nothing but like horror movie stuff. His taste, like, I like his commentary. Like, I feel like his taste, like his like favorite series is Halloween, which Halloween's a great series. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Like, he has a penchant for the slasher, and I love slasher films just like anyone else. But I don't think slashers are probably my favorite genre. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy them; they're fun, but
yeah, I think I developed a love of like non-mainstream films. I mean, like everybody knows the Jasons and the Freddys and the Halloweens, but I kind of like beyond that,
Right.
I think I like the Sleepaway Camp stuff, like the B-movie stuff, way better than the mainstream. Although I would say like we're kind of going through this, I don't know if renaissance is the word, but like the last maybe 10 years, we've gotten some really good, like high level horror stuff. Whereas for years it was kind of like forgotten, or not forgotten, but just churning out bullshit, you know?
You had stuff like The Ring and The Grudge and like, and I'm not saying those films are bad. I'm just saying that's what you got. Remember Boogeyman? It was like, yeah, it was like the era of the PG-13 horror film, right? Like the like early to mid 2000s. You had like, you know, Boogeyman, The Ring, Grudge, try to like, and then of course you had like the, you know, the newer slashers films. Like I Know You Did Last Summer and all that stuff. You know,
yeah.
It was just weird. And then it went kind of dark for a bit. It felt like, you know, you're getting a lot of remakes, like the Jessica Biel Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, or, you know, like,
man, early 2000s stuff was just so bad. Like I liked Scream, but man, the whole series, I don't know, didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I enjoyed, for Scream, I enjoyed the first one. The second one's watchable. I hated the third film.
Okay.
The third Scream is horseshit. And I actually enjoyed Scream 4 for what it was. Like, maybe I'm in the minority there. Now that came out like in what, like 2010, 2011?
Okay.
But I enjoyed Scream 4. I hated Scream 3 though. Scream 3 is terrible.
Is Scream 3 the one with Jay and Silent Bob in it? I never saw it, but I heard that they were in one of them.
I don't remember. Scream 3 is the one where like the whole thing is like takes place on a movie set basically, and like
okay.
It goes way too on the comedy spectrum and trying to be a little over meta to the point to where it's like almost parodying itself. I don't know. I did not enjoy it.
Yeah.
And
I never really
reveal.
Yeah. I know you mentioned The Ring, but actually, like, it came out during that time period, but I think, to me at least, The Ring is like a cut above. Mostly, not necessarily because of the story, but the choreography, amazing. Like, I forgot who, Robert, I can't remember who directed it, but, like, a really good director did it, good choreographer, everything.
Gore Verbinski directed it.
Yes. But I never even watched the second one. They said it was bad, so I kind of skipped it.
I enjoyed The Ring for what it was. I thought out of like between like The Ring or The Grudge, I would go Ring all day, right? Like I don't know.
The Grudge, man.
I don't think I ever like it. Like, and I know they just remade it recently, and I don't know.
Yeah. So many remakes. Have you watched any of the, like, I'm just randomly kind of talking here, but like the Halloween remakes or like Evil Dead remake? I never even saw the Evil Dead remake, but I don't know.
Evil Dead remake is very good.
Okay. I've heard that from someone else.
Is worth a watch. The Halloween movie, the latest one, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I think it got a lot of high praise that it probably didn't deserve. I do like the fact that they kind of threw away some of the sillier plot elements, basically from, you know, Halloween. I mean, essentially, this was just a direct sequel from the very first Halloween film. It basically does away with like 2 through however many it was, right? I think up until, what's the last one? H2O, or was it Resurrection? Maybe Resurrection was the last one. But it just does away with, yeah, it just does away with all of that. It just, all that's gone. And,
okay.
It just picks up right after Halloween.
Starts a new timeline.
Right.
The only Halloween I like is the third one. Oh my God. Like I had a little get together. I have one every year for Halloween. And last year, one of the movies we didn't, but man, the little jingle they have during it, like,
yeah,
oh my God. Yeah, I think it burned into everyone's brains, and that was fun.
You know, but that film never got. I still feel like that film doesn't get the. I wish they would just get rid of the Halloween in the title, because
yes,
people, they just are expecting to see Michael Myers, right? And they go to that film and like, oh, this is shit because Michael Myers not in it. Well, it's a good movie on its own. It's actually a very good kind of sci-fi, like, you know, conspiracy film, like horror film, and like, because it deals with like the guy's like into Satanism and he's like sacrificing all these people so he can become powerful. You know, it gets into this really goofy plot line, and it's actually way more inventive than just the standard like guy goes and murders babysitter. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like you got it bad
right
because of the Halloween.
Right. I never liked. never liked. I remember watching the original Halloween back in the day, and it was kind of boring. Now I have to go back and watch it. But I just remember not liking it, and I kind of dismissed the entire thing. And then someone way back when H2O came out, they took me on a date, and it wasn't a great date. And so, of course, it's like I had a bad experience then. And so I just never went back and watched these movies. And then, like I said, recently, I listened to a podcast, How Did This Get Made? I don't know if anyone's heard of that, but they talk about bad movies. And they mentioned that one, and they kind of get into depth on it. And I was like, okay, I got to see this. And while it's not a great movie, but I think that's how like me and my husband are different. Like, he doesn't like bad horror movie. He likes good horror, whereas I can appreciate even a bad horror movie for what it is.
Right.
And so Halloween 3 is just it. I think it's a lot of fun. Everyone should watch it. And like you were saying, it has nothing to do with the series. If y'all don't know, it was supposed to be its own thing completely. Or no. I'm sorry. I got that wrong. Each Halloween was supposed to be its own story. And then it didn't do well. And so they were like, you know what? We're just going to follow along with the Michael, whatever, timeline. So I kind of wish they would have kept going with that. Like make each Halloween a different Halloween story.
Right. It's essentially
and Halloween 3 is also.
Yeah.
What was that again?
I was saying, like, I mean, that's what American Horror Story does. They just do a TV version of that, right? Every season,
yes,
its own story, right? So it could have worked. It's just that was during the time of the Jasons and the Freddys and the, you know, the serialization of the serial killer, and people just couldn't wrap their head around it. They wanted to go to theater. They wanted to see the Shatner mask, right? Like, that's what they wanted. Because that's what.
Right. I mean,
the Michael Myers mask is just a William Shatner mask from Star Trek that they.
William Shatner, right? Yeah, I don't really get. I don't get it, but if that's what makes money, you know, obviously they're like, this is what brings in the crowd. But I mean, nowadays, like, do people even care? There's been so many. I don't know. I'm not a movie producer, so maybe I don't know. Let's see. Rob Zombie's Halloween. I will tell you what I do like from Rob Zombie. And I didn't love House of a Thousand Corpses, but the sequel to it, Devil's Rejects, is actually really good. I mean, when I say good, I don't mean a movie masterpiece. Wait, what?
I would put it up there. It's one of the few films that you see 3 characters commit some of the most heinous things you'll see on film. And
yes,
by the end of it, as Freebird's playing, you feel sorry for these horrible, horrible people. Like somehow, like, the way they shot that scene, you're sitting there like, and you're rooting for the killers that you've just seen rape and murder and torture like the last hour and a half. And at the end, you're sitting there like, you don't want to see them get murdered. It's a weird feeling. At least that's the way I felt. Maybe I'm screwed up in the head, but that's the way, like,
yeah.
You know, have you seen 3 from Hell yet?
No, I haven't.
I'm
yeah. Is it okay? No, well, okay.
Sid Haig died. Well, he was like really sick when they were filming it, so he was only in it for like 5 minutes. And they introduced a new character. I didn't care for it, but I mean, it's worth a watch. It's if you enjoy the whole like series,
just to see what happens.
Yeah, but it wasn't a great film.
I think my expectations for Devil's Rejects were kind of low, also because House of a Thousand Corpses, that was like his like directorial debut, and so it just wasn't very good, whatever. And so when the second one came out, I was like, we'll give it a go, and I was pleasantly surprised. So yeah, if y'all like horror, I would definitely give that a watch. Thoughts on Ernest Scared Stupid? It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's too scary. I do remember some scary parts in it, but yeah.
Ernest,
I've always loved Ernest movies.
Like, true story, when I was a kid, Ernest scared the shit out of me. Like, I could deal with Pee Wee Herman all day long. Ernest, for some reason, something about the way he talked and that denim vest that he wore and the hat, it's something about him just freaked me out. I don't know what it was. Ernest freaked me out. I didn't like him.
Yeah, he comes from he had like some commercials in Louisiana way back in the day, and somehow he became a movie star. Yeah. Side story. But so okay, what is like some of the oldest horror movies that you like? We're talking about like maybe 70s and before.
I mean, we're gonna get real old. I mean, Nosferatu is a great film.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, the Pit and the Pendulum's really good. That's older. White Zombie.
Yeah.
I mean,
those Universal movies are always like they're always fun.
Yeah. There's a lot of good films. Obviously, I mean, I think it's a little like, Night of the Living Dead's a classic. I mean, everyone's seen that at this point. I think that's
seen it.
Yeah, that's like a Halloween tradition for us. Every Halloween night we put it on, and she.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's one of those movies, right? You just gotta watch it.
That movie scared me a lot when I was a kid. I don't remember how old I was when I watched it. I think maybe around 10. Once again, my dad was watching it, and I got really scared because of the little girl. For some reason, like, kids in trouble always scared me as a kid. Like, I don't know. So this little girl that was dead coming after her mother, I believe, like that was super scary. Yeah, I mean, as an adult, when I watched it, I've never seen Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my god, that was good.
The true fun fact, I'm sure you know this, Natalie, but that was filmed in the same apartment complex where John Lennon lived and ended up getting murdered outside of.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Dead Alive is good. That's who did that? Peter.
Oh, Dead Alive.
Yeah. That's super gory with like the mom at the end with like the monster mom and like her and boobs are hanging out. Yeah. Sorry. I saw that.
Yeah, so no. No, I love Dead Alive. But if you guys haven't seen Rosemary's Baby, like, it's so crazy because you go on this journey and I would say she's a step behind you on what you know. And so you're following this journey and you're like yelling at your TV, like, don't do that. Or like, trying to tell her what's going on and she can't figure it out in time. And it's a frustrating movie, but at the same time, it's great.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say about that.
It's a good movie. I know that some people are weird though. Some people don't like the religious horror, right? Like, I guess you put Exorcist in there, Rosemary Baby, obviously, Omen. You could throw in there. I personally really enjoy those films. Yeah. Like, I love the remake Omen. We won't talk about that, but the original Omen is fantastic.
Yes. I watched it a few years ago for the first time.
Yeah, the sequels get a little dicey, but the original film is really good. I'm not big on haunted horror, like Amityville horror doesn't really. It's not popular opinion, but I'm not real big. Apart from like movies like The Shining, just because Stanley Kubrick's a great director and his vision that movie is good. But I'm not a huge fan of like haunted house kind of stories, if that makes sense. Like, it just doesn't do that for me.
Man, like that's kind of the stuff I really like, actually.
Really?
Yes. Blake is the same way, though. He doesn't like paranormal stuff, whereas that's like my favorite stuff to watch. I like Amityville a lot, and I love ghost stuff, even though I don't believe in ghosts. I always say to Blake, like, I don't believe in ghosts, but like, I'm waiting for some like solid evidence. I'll wait for solid evidence. And he's like, it's never going to happen. I'm like, but I'd like to see it.
Right.
Yeah, I love like ghost. When I go to a new city, I love to go on ghost tours and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, we've done that here in Richmond. They do that because well, you live in Louisiana, like one of the most haunted states in the
Yes.
United States. So
For my bachelorette party, I did a ghost tour in New Orleans. I'm sure that's weird, but it was fun. We actually did a like a pub crawl through like the French Quarter, and we didn't see any ghosts, but it was spooky.
yeah.
Man, what are some older movies that I was going to mention? There's one called Spider Baby, and it actually is like Sid Haig's first movie, I believe, or one of his first, and he's real young looking. And basically, it's this. I know this is where Rob Zombie got his ideas for like House of a Thousand Corpses. It's like this messed up family who have people come in and basically like try to keep, or they ended up killing them basically. And this like
wow, it's got
couple, this young couple.
Lon Chaney Jr.'s on it. Wow. Sorry, I'm looked it up because I never heard of it, so I looked it up as you're talking.
Yeah. I want to say that was on Shudder maybe a couple years ago, and I watched it. I'd seen it several years ago, but so Rob Zombie likes to pull up like these older actors, like Sid Haig, and some other people I can't remember, but he likes to put those people in his movies, and then unfortunately they die too soon.
Yeah.
I'll
have to watch it. It's good.
Okay, so yes, it's so good. It's definitely underrated. Do you have any like favorite actors or like favorite horror actors in general? Or
it's hard, man, because in so many of like, especially like the more lower budget films, right? Like a lot of the actors and especially actresses, for the most part, it's one and done, right? Like you see a few people that end up in movies, like have recurring roles in other films, but a lot of times they basically do the project they're on, and that's like all you ever see of them.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think, like, I mean, like
there's. Go ahead.
I think one of the best, like, I don't know. I'm a big fan. Like, you're a fan of like ghost horror. I'm a big fan of like real life horror, or like horror that like it could be somewhat believable. So like stuff like Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. You've seen that, right? Like with Michael Rooker, who actually went on to be in Walking Dead and Guardians of the Galaxy, had a big career. Who would ever thought the guy that's going around and murdering prostitutes on this low budget film would have this big career? But Michael Rooker's acting in that film is just so haunting. I actually just watched it again recently on, when did I watch it? Saturday morning. I woke up and watched it.
I actually haven't seen that.
Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. You need to watch it. It's really
okay. I'm gonna write that down.
It's one of the few films that actually didn't ever get it got an X rating for no reason other than that they said that they objected to the moral character. Joe Bob Briggs does this whole breakdown on it. He did an episode about the drive-in on it, but but
I've definitely heard about it, but yeah,
it got an X rating and ended up with an NC-17 rating, and I think it just stuck. And I mean, it had they went through hell and back trying to get the full version of the film even released. It was just it's wild, and it's not like overly gory. It's just very, very disturbing, especially for its time. I think the initial release date was like 1990. I could be wrong there. Don't quote me.
My friend James here, he is asking about the Hitchcock movies. I am a huge Hitchcock fan. We just watched. Oh man, I don't know. How do you feel about him? Well, I remember the movie that
when I was a kid, the birds scared the shit out of me. So, like, I mean, to this day, if I see a big like that, that V formation of birds like flying like kind of over me, it freaks me out. Like, because if you think about it, like their beaks are kind of like flying daggers, and so if the birds wanted to get violent, all they would have to do is just like it'd be like getting hit with a bunch of arrows. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but the birds scare the shit out of me. I love the original Psycho. I mean, I think that's one of the greatest swerves in like early horror, I guess you could call that. But like the swerve of like you think you're following the protagonist throughout this film, and then midway through she's dead, and the protagonist turns out to be the sister. You know what I mean? Yeah. Alfred Hitchcock was great. I love the TV show too. Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Absolutely, yeah. The movie we watched recently was Vertigo, and that wasn't really like I wouldn't call it horror per se. It's more like, but first of all, if you like mid-century modern stuff, it is a gold mine. It's just beautiful to look at. I mean, you see these offices with like nothing but MCM stuff, and basically, it's a movie where like James Stewart, who is in several of the movies, he sees a woman. He's supposed to be following a woman who may be a ghost or something, if I remember correctly, and he ends up falling in love with her. She ends up dying before him, and then I won't spoil it in case you ever want to watch it, but he basically he sees her again, and he's like, "What the hell is going on here?" But yeah, so good. Also, it's not as known, but there's a couple movies I'll mention. The Rope, excellent movie. It's basically where these two young guys, as a joke because they're assholes, they like kill someone and put it in a like a box, and they have like a huge like dinner over this box, like with their friends and stuff, and they're all like, "Hey, where's David or whatever his name is?" And he's under them while they're eating. And also another one is Strangers on a Train. So good. This guy basically, he's on a train. He hears that someone wants to kill his ex-wife, and he goes, "You know what? Hey, how about he thinks the other guy thinks he's joking, but he goes, hey, how about I kill your ex-wife and you kill my dad?" It like as an exchange. And the guy goes along with it, not thinking it'll actually happen, but the wife gets killed, and the other guy's like expected to kill the other guy's dad, and it's a whole mess. But very, very good. Let's see. That's all the questions. So, but we can just talk about whatever movies that come to mind. Let's see. Have you seen Neon Demon?
No, I have not. I'm looking it up now. Neon Demon.
Oh my god. Yes, that's a newer movie.
It looks
Omega
cool.
Wolf Gaming.
It actually looks like something Gabby would watch, because the only horror movies I can get her to sit through is psychological horror. And this looks like it'd be right up her alley.
Keanu Reeves has a great cameo in the movie. Yeah, maybe not cameo. He has a part in it, but it's so small, and it's really weird. It's a really weird movie, but at the end, like the ending is so crazy that it actually like psychologically bothered me at night. Like while I was watching it, I wasn't scared, but later on when I was thinking about it, I was like, I didn't like it, but you know, I liked the movie. Yeah, it's very much about like how the fashion industry kind of like eats up these young girls is, I guess, the theme of it, but a lot of good stuff in it.
Yeah, I'll have to watch this with her, because like I said, she'll only horror movie I can get her to watch is like psychological horror. So this looks like it'd be something we could watch together.
D Cells is asking about a Scream Queen. I'm not sure what she means, but I don't know if y'all have heard of Linnea Quigley. She was in a lot of like B movie, like was it Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead? One of these days that wasn't made. Stuff like the Horror Workout, you know, a lot of B movie stuff. Let's see. Fat Dog Wiggle says a guy got killed by a pelican on the BP spill. Okay, I've been attacked by ducks physically because they thought I had well, I did have food on me, and it was in the morning, and we lived by a lake, and they were near the elevators, and I was trying to go up, and I was like, "Hey, duckies." And they came over to me and started pecking my legs because they smelled the food. And I was like, "Oh, what the hell is going on?" It's very scary. James, yes, absolutely watch The Rope. I would say Strangers on the Train also is like one of the better. It doesn't. Nobody really remembers it, but you guys see that new Dawn of the Dead box set? No, I haven't.
I have not.
James knows a lot about. James is very into like good movies, so whereas I don't hear all the news.
I'm looking it up now. I'll look into it. I haven't seen it yet. But I admittedly, I'm not.
Me neither.
I'm not a huge collector. This is gonna kill a lot of horror buffs. I'm not a huge collector of physical media. I know it's terrible. It's and I know that hurts your heart now.
No, me neither.
Really, I took you as a.
No, I mean I have a few things. I don't have the room. I live in 800 square feet.
Okay, yeah.
So I just don't have the room to collect things, you know? Like I barely have the room for inventory, much less, you know, to resell. But like I said, anything that I just can't find myself to get rid of, like I will keep it. But I definitely, we have a lot of DVDs in the front room, VHS. Well, we have a few VHS, but every once in a while I'll go through them and just kind of, you know, get rid of or, you know, donate stuff that we haven't watched in a while. But there's some stuff I will never, ever let go.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, nowadays.
Hi, Midwest Picker.
And, you know, you get into the argument of preservation, and I get that. But, like, just about everything is available on some sort of streaming service at this point. You know what I mean? Like, not necessarily for free. You may have to pay for it.
Yes.
But, it's hard not to be able to find.
You don't have to collect.
Right. Right.
It's a good time to be a movie watcher. Like, I kind of feel bad for people who died like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, because now there's just so much stuff out. Like, you know, if you were a movie collector 15 years ago, like, I mean, you're just inundated now with so much stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I mean, you have to pay for. That's the worst part, is you got to pay for, you know, Shudder and Showtime and HBO and just to get everything.
Right.
But I mean, I still definitely belong to like some VHS groups on Facebook and on Reddit, and there are some diehard collectors. So I will never not look at, when I'm, you know, at thrift stores and garage sales, I will always look through physical media. You know, it definitely still sells to those people.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, the VHS is, I think it's probably bigger than it's ever been right now, because people are trying to buy back that nostalgia. You know, people like you and me, Natalie, like we probably grew up and we were in the Blockbusters and in the mom and pop stores, and that was a big part of our childhood and our teenage years, is going and getting those VHSs. And you know, people like to buy back that nostalgia, and you can't do that anymore. Like, you know, a red box is not the same damn thing. You know what I mean? And that experience was fun. Like, I mean, that whole video store experience is something that Amazon menu or Netflix menu cannot replicate.
It's not the same. No. I mean, wouldn't you love to go back just for like a day and just like go through even a Blockbuster? I never thought Blockbuster had the best titles, you know, but like, even I would kill just to go through a Blockbuster right now, you know, just for the nostalgia.
Just to see, like, I mean, there's something about like just seeing those VHS covers, like, you know, they have them all like faced out, and like some of the smaller stores find them, but like all the different colors and the, you know, the different, it's just something tactile about it, right? Like all the different cover art, especially in the horror section, because like a lot of times in a lot of these smaller, like really low budget films, they would have some epic looking or scary looking cover art, and the thing that's on the cover is not even in the film. Like, have you ever seen Troll 2 is a good example. Like Troll.
I was going to mention that movie.
Troll 2 had like what looks like a troll on the cover. There's no trolls in the damn movie.
Yeah, here's the DVD. But yeah, the VHS of Troll 2 had a troll. Just real quick, D Cells. I can't say really one title that would, or a few titles. There's so many, but generally, even mainstream titles, I will like Scream and The Ring. I will lot up those because there's people that will still buy lots of those. Whereas more like B movie stuff, people will buy that singly. So it's just hard to say like which horror titles exactly. I mean, if you find, just as an example, Sleepaway Camp, definitely pick that up. Or some older, like if you find the original Halloween, that does really good. You just kind of have to do your research on it. But horror just does so well. Even, like I said, mainstream, if you lot them up, it does well.
And I mean, I don't like horror people, like horror buffs, like the real diehard horror fans, and especially the collectors of the media. There's something that it's funny because it's such a violent and kind of like, I don't know, not family friendly really like thing. But the people in the horror community are some of the nicest people. I'll be honest. I mean, they're no offense to the reseller community watching here, but they're way nicer than most of the reseller community. Horror community people they're not judgmental. They're accepting. They're just very good people for the most part. I mean, you have douchebags and everything, right? But
yeah, I see a few douchebags in the Facebook groups, especially, but like the Reddit groups. I mean, people will put up the most like mainstream common stuff, and people will be like, "Oh, good job." Like
right.
they're just so nice.
Yeah.
So we mentioned Troll 2. Have you ever seen the original Troll? Because I have not.
I have not. No, I've only seen Troll 2. The original Troll apparently isn't actually tried to be a horror movie, but like Troll 2 was done by this, I forget what country he was from, but like, have you ever seen the documentary, The Best Worst Movie Ever?
I have it in the living room.
Yeah. Like that documentary is fantastic. Like the Mormon dentist that plays the dad, like, and he's like so proud of that. Like that's his like crowning jewel is Troll 2. Like
I know he's so proud of it.
So proud.
Man, okay, what would be like a dream for me is like being on a crappy horror movie. I can assure you that you're wide awake. Oh my god, my phone was talking randomly. What would be like an awesome thing to do is like be on a horror movie that for some reason everyone loves because it's a cult movie, and then you go to these conventions and just get paid for the rest of your life. And like the dentist goes to these horror conventions and he's like, these people suck. Like, I don't know if you remember that part, but he hated it
because no one wanted no one knew who the hell he was, and no one wanted
at the time. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people know more now, but like at the time, I don't. Yeah. He was just like, no one's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen? That reminds me. We went to a Comic-Con probably about 4 years ago now, and you ever see Land of the Dead, the one from like the mid 2000s with the Romero film? It was like.
I hate this. I bought the DVD once for cheap and I never watched it.
Okay, well, there's this zombie. He's like called the Big Daddies. This African American zombie, and he's like a gas station attendant. Well, anyway, that actor was at one of these conventions, but he didn't get like a convention. The big people have like their own booths that's set up. He just had rented a little space, and I felt bad. I was talking to him, and like no one was buying anything from this guy. So me being a nice guy, I felt really bad, so I was like, "Hey, man, like, how much for one of these posters, and I'll get you to sign it?" He's like, $50. Like, I'm not paying $50. He's like, $20. Like, okay, I'll pay you $20. And I just felt bad for the guy. So the next day we go to the convention. Gabby stayed home because she went to like a paint and play, like paint and wine thing with her mom. So I go and I pull up, and he's like unloading. He's like in the spot next to me unloading. So I helped him unload, and it's just that kind of reminds me of that story of that doctor though. It's like some of these people, man, like. They're just out there trying to hustle, and they're just, it's sad. It's kind of sad in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So the channel, the YouTube channel I love, Red Letter Media, in their kind of earlier days, they would go to conventions when no one knew who they were at the time, and they saw like the guy who played Anakin Skywalker, and like as a kid, and he would just have nobody, and like they would be like videoing him like in the background, and he'd just be like sitting there, and you just kind of feel bad. But yeah, man, I miss going to conventions and stuff. Like, I haven't gone to too many. I think I've only gone to like 2 in my life, because I kind of started on that late. Like, my sister was going to one. She said they were fun, so we went to one. It was a lot of fun. But the last one that we went to, it was just like me and Blake went, and man, it was just like so like I don't know, like generic.
Yeah.
It was a Wizard World one, and
Yep. Wizard World is like, it's super consumer. Everything, it's like a carnival, right? Like, you go to Wizard World and everything is just like, give me your money, give me your money. Like, everything there, except for like the Q&As. Q&As I think were free last time I went to one, but other than that, everything's cost money.
yeah, and the only good thing I think I got out of it was like, was we got a autographed signature with Elvira.
Oh,
well,
that's
Cassandra Peterson.
right.
Yeah. So we kind of had a picture with her, and she signed something, and so I'm glad I went, at least for that. I had to go. I really do miss like seeing. There was one where they had Robert Englund, but sometimes it's like, do you want to, like, sometimes I work weekends, and like, do I want to call off, or not go to work and then spend the money just to meet one person? So I don't know.
And I mean, you spend a lot, because you got to pay for the ticket to go to the con, then you got to pay for the meet and greet, and you got to pay for the autograph, and it's like, yeah, it's a lot. It is. And that's part of the reason why I don't really. And we're in Richmond, Virginia. We don't get a lot of cons. Like, we get some smaller. Like, if you're into comic books, there's cons where I'm not a big comic book person, So, if it's like a comic book centric con, there's really no need for me to go to it. And I mean, if you live in I would imagine Louisiana probably, especially like in the cities, y'all probably get more of that kind of stuff than we do. But I know like New Jersey and New York get a ton of horror conventions, like just horror conventions. But
okay, we don't get them. It's so frustrating. We don't get the horror conventions. Like, y'all Dallas will, and that's probably. We get like Comic-Cons in New Orleans, and I mean, that's only a 2-hour drive from here, and you get some horror stuff there. But I would love to go to like the just horror convention, but you have to kind of travel, and it's always like, do you want to like stay for the weekend just to meet?
You're talking plane ticket, you're talking hotel, you're talking then the whole con experience, ticket.
Yeah.
And now with this whole coronavirus thing, like, I mean, I probably won't ever go to a con, not in the next 3 years.
Will we go to a convention again? Who knows?
Will they even be allowed to have them like anytime soon? I don't know. Like, it's the whole thing is crazy right now.
I just want to say real quick, Midwest Picker, Return of the Living Dead is what I was trying to think of earlier. It's actually not a Romero film. It's like, it's got Linnea Quick. What's that?
Who does she play in that film? Because she play the hot girl that like the punk girl
that takes her clothes off.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Michelle Lathan had to go look at oh my god, yeah, there are so many. I think me and Blake were quoting Troll 2 the other day. We were like talking about the part where like he pees on the food.
You don't piss on hospitality.
Yes.
Hunger pains.
Yeah, we quote that all the time. Yeah. You don't know what hunger pains are. I used to have to tighten my belt. God, that movie. It's so bad, but it's in like the sex scene with the popcorn. Like in the popcorn scene. Like,
yes.
Oh my god, that movie.
I friended her on Facebook. She's really nice. Like, she
not the mom, right? The mom's crazy. Like the girl that played the mom. You're talking about the girl?
No, not the mom. Okay, the popcorn girl, or the bad guy.
Okay.
Yeah, she's on Facebook just like as a regular person, and like me and Blake friended her like as a regular friend, and one day, like I was talking about my fish one time, and she was like, "Oh, what's your fish's name?" It was kind of funny.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, and her son played somebody in the movie, like one of the Amish people.
Yeah.
Okay. I wrote down a few movies just so I would remember them. You ever watch the original Wicker Man?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's on Netflix right now. So good. It's like the original Midsummer, and I'm assuming you've seen Midsummer.
Yes. Yeah. We watched that actually
Okay.
on Valentine's Day. What a great! I made her watch that when we got home from Valentine's Day dinner. Yeah.
Yeah. We recently watched that, and I figured I would like it because it's got, I think it's A24 or one of those, production houses that makes good horror movies. And so, yeah, really, really good. What else did they make? Did they make Hereditary?
Hereditary was the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. Hereditary was also really good.
I've only seen Hereditary in bits and pieces. I've never actually sat down and watched it from beginning to end.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I need to.
Yes, absolutely. Hereditary, so good. I have not seen The Lighthouse, which I think is on Prime.
Yep, it went on Prime. I think like last week or 2 weeks ago. I need to watch it too, with the vampire kid, right? Robert Pattinson's in it. Right?
Yes, yes. That's one I need to see. I got kind of a backlog. Let's see. But yeah, okay, so I have The Mist here. You ever seen that?
Yes, that's a great film too.
One that's on my list. I never actually saw all of this movie, Suspiria.
I've never finished it. I've watched like 10 minutes because I think it's on Netflix or Amazon or something like that, but I just haven't finished it.
The new one or the old one?
The old one. It's about the fashion industry, right? Am I getting it correct? Like something to do with
ballet or something, dancing.
Yes, yeah, because they did a more modern take on it, like in the last like 5 or 10 years, right? Let me look it up.
Yes, and I heard that was really, really good, and someone offered to let me borrow it, and it just never happened.
Yeah, 2018.
Michelle Lathan is saying, "Do you like any Blumhouse stuff?" Blumhouse was that Hereditary? I can't remember.
They've done a lot of stuff. They've done. I'm trying to think. I know they did like the Happy Death Day movies, which those are more comedy. I feel like
I haven't seen those. Red Letter Media was recommending like the last one, saying it was funny.
Yeah, they're not scary whatsoever, but they're fun movies. Like I enjoy them for what they are. Like they're fun. You know, like I think Blake would enjoy them. Those are probably ones that Blake might have fun with.
Okay. Let's see. Do you guys have a favorite horror director? What about you, Justin?
Oof, man, that's hard. Because you always got to break it down into like genres.
There's so many.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge like original Nightmare on Elm Street fan, which I know that's like a mainstream film, but like I like a lot of like stuff that Wes Craven did. Carpenter did a lot of good stuff, like with The Thing. And I like the original Halloween, and of course, a lot of these serial movies that became like like franchises. The original director had no take in it. Clive Barker, like the first 2 Hellraiser films. There's just Nightbreed was a big collaboration with like Clive Barker and a bunch of other people. I mean, there's so many, and it's hard to. You'd almost have to break it down into like genre. I feel like. I don't know. It's
hard. Absolutely. Let's see. Michelle Lathan is reminding me here. Get Out and Insidious. I did like Get Out. I was just reminded of Jordan Peele's movies. I don't know how you felt about like Us.
I didn't like Us was good. I did not like the whole. I don't want to. Well, that's kind of manure, so I don't want to spoil it. I didn't care for the ending of Us. I liked the build up and the tension throughout the film. I thought the twist was a little predictable, and I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to spoil it because that is a relatively newer film.
Yeah,
I thought the twist was a little predictable, and I didn't really quite understand. Maybe I'm just stupid. I thought overall, like between the two, Get Out or Us, Get Out's the better film.
Okay, I thought the opposite. Most people think like you do. I liked Get Out, but I thought Us was a more interesting film. It didn't always, I'm not saying it made sense,
Right.
but I thought like visually it was interesting. I thought the twist or whatever was interesting. And I thought the theme of it, there's kind of a theme on class, maybe even I wouldn't say so much as race, but more class stuff going on in it.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that one was better than Get Out, but not by much. I mean, you know, I thought Get Out was good.
I mean, I really like the initial like home invasion scene in Us, like when the family goes up. I think what lost me with Us was really just the motivation, like the whole like government creating these like, I don't know, like these like soulless beings that lived underground. That whole thing didn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. But and that's the part where you could say, okay, you have to watch the movie kind of thinking like this part doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like it doesn't hold up. But if you can just pretend like this is just happening, you might do a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think another thing is like it was
Sorry, it's kind of breaking up a little bit. I think is she frozen for y'all or just me? I think
which is
it froze up a little bit. I don't know if it's frozen for. I don't know. My computer's messing up. I might be frozen. Oh, it's okay. Okay, so Natalie's getting her connection reconnected. So I will say hi to some people on her behalf. Frozen. Oh, I thought we were talking about the movie Frozen. I was like, that's not a horror movie. Over the years, I don't think she knows she's frozen. Justin, you're clear, blah, blah, blah. I think there's a good market for horror merch. Oh, there definitely is. Horror collecting is huge. I mean, I'm a very, very like small horror collector. Like I have my little horror shelf over here. All right, test. Natalie, you good?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So anyway, you were talking about.
It was working fine all night, and then okay, I'm really sorry, y'all. No, I got Blake to pour me. He went to the bathroom. I was like, hey, more wine. So what were you just saying?
Oh, I was just filling time. They were talking about
okay.
the market.
Well, I was gonna say if we couldn't go back, we were at an hour. I don't know if you want to go a little longer. It's up to you. I don't know if you got plans or.
No, if you give me 2 minutes to take a piss, I can stay on however long you want to.
Yeah, I mean we can go a little longer. I expected us to go at least 30 more minutes, but I mean, yeah, go ahead.
That works for me. I'll be right back, and we can continue talking about fun stuff. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay, let me fill time by looking at comments. Couple of pickers. I am not swigging from the bottle. I've only had one cup so far. I'm on my second, but I did keep it. Bye, Dee. Thank you for coming. His favorite horror movies are, just you know, I love horror. I think horror and comedy are my favorite genres. Okay, let me. Okay, am I not frozen? If it's not working out, then maybe we'll just go. But I'd like to go at least 30 more minutes. Can you guys see me? Hey, Justin, can you see and hear me okay?
Yeah, again.
Okay. They said I was, my voice was glitchy. Okay. Tracy's asking if I can plug into internet. Not where I am. Plugging into internet would mean going. I mean, I could, but it would be a whole thing. So I don't know if like the internet hasn't been working that. I guess it's like the whole everyone's on the internet, you know, because of the pandemic. Am I glitchy right now?
No, you're fine right now.
Okay. Well, we'll just go with that. Okay, so let's see. We talked about Suspiria. And we had said you hadn't seen the new one, right?
No, I haven't seen the new one.
Okay. And I think Dee had mentioned Insidious. Have you seen Insidious?
Yes. Funny story about Insidious. Do you tell you my Insidious story? So when me and my wife were dating, she hates horror movies, mind you. There was this little theater out by the apartment she lived in, and we went to see Insidious on a weeknight, like at 10 o'clock at night. There was not a soul in the theater. No one there. I snuck in a 40-ounce and to watch Insidious, and she did not want to finish the movie. She would not finish it. She hated it that much. It was scary because we were the only ones in this dark theater. And when I say not just in the theater showing Insidious, like in the theater altogether. So we leave halfway, probably about 75% way through of the film. It's right before they, he goes into the realm and like confronts the like, I guess like the goat demon, whatever you want to call it. The guy that looks like Darth Maul or whatever.
Yeah.
So we leave, and when we're leaving, there's not a single employee in the theater. There's no one in the theater, and like the lights are flickering, and she was freaked out. Like it was I don't know how.
Poor Gabby.
I took her to see so many horror movies when we were dating.
Okay, how does Gabby feel? Like, is she genuinely like scared, or like did she not like horror movies growing up? Like, what are her feelings?
I think her feelings are. She thinks there's enough horror in the real world that there's no need to really like watch like fictitious horror. I think it's kind of her take on it. And I get it.
I get that.
To me, though, horror is not. I don't know. Maybe I'm twisted. I think a lot of that, it doesn't really scare me. I think it's funny. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I would say the last horror movie that really bothered me. And none of it scares me, but I think once you're laying in bed and you're thinking about the movie that you watched, was The Witch. Yes, and it was like the part, and sorry to spoil it for anybody, but the mother is okay. I can't remember. Is the witch like having an effect on the family or something? But the mother is maybe going crazy, and she thinks that her baby, who is dead, is like suckling at her breast, and it's really like a crow is just like biting her.
Yeah.
That part bothered me kind of a lot. I don't know why, but that's the last one I would say kind of scared. But overall, like I don't know, I just love them. Like gore doesn't bother me or anything.
Gore doesn't bother me either until like you make me watch some like medical drama and it's like realistic like gore, like it's like in a surgery setting. I don't like that. Like I can watch someone get their head chopped off a million times in a movie, right? But then you make me go watch open heart procedure, and I'm like, whoa, like I don't like. It's weird, but like I don't like medical stuff. But like, I don't like eyeball stuff. Like in Hostel, I think it might be the second or the first one.
Oh,
I don't like.
I never saw that. I heard that was harsh.
I don't like when stuff goes into eyeballs, unless it's like very hokey. You know, like some of the early slasher films had some eyeball scenes. That
Okay, someone mentioned The Invisible Man, and I know that just came out. I want to watch it, but I heard I don't know if it ever came out to theaters, but they released it to like streaming, and it's $20.
Yeah, it's worth it, Natalie. It's like because it was in theater, but then it came out right before everything went locked down. So all the films that and like The Hunt, all those films that were in theaters and you couldn't go see anymore, they had to switch it to digital. So the stuff that was like brand new in theater, they've made it $20 to rent. But really, it's like $10 a ticket. I don't know how much your theater prices there are, but like you can't go to a movie here for less than $12 now per person.
Yeah, about the same. Yeah, $20. I guess it just sounds like a lot for watching it at home because you're not buying snacks. You got all the snacks you need at home, hopefully. Right. So it's a kind of a lot, but I guess I understand to a point. You don't have to go to a theater where there's like annoying people there.
I would prefer that to be the model moving forward, and I never have to go to a theater again. I'll pay $20 to watch like movies at theater at home. Like I'm not a social person, and theaters are gross because like you have like the teenagers that are loud, and you got the people that are coughing and talking, and like if I ever commit murder, it's probably going to be in a movie theater.
Right. I don't know. And like people sometimes laugh at, I don't know, what you might consider the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Or they make comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it every once in a while, but we don't go to the very. Okay, can you see me?
Yes. It glitched there for a second, but it's good now. I think so.
Okay, so horrible. I guess it's my side. But the last thing we saw in theaters was the Joker, which was okay.
Yeah, I would actually argue.
Okay, so go ahead.
I was gonna say I think you can make a case for the Joker being a horror movie.
I guess kind of, yeah.
I like the movie. I don't want to spoil it, but I really like the scene at the end with the talk show host.
Yes.
Like, that was like, it felt real. You know what I mean? Like, it was a very visceral, the way they shot that scene, it was very visceral. I really like that scene, actually. But I enjoyed that. I think that was a fun movie. Not fun, but it was a good movie.
It was a very good movie to watch in theaters because it was just that much more intense. So, well, so are there any horror movies that you just love that weren't like mentioned tonight, or that you'd like to talk about?
Blood Diner, the shirt that I'm wearing now. Blood Diner is a oddity movie. It's not good. It has probably one of the most disturbing public shooting scenes in it during a nude aerobics class. But it's a weird movie about them basically trying to resurrect Sheetar, which is like this like ancient god, and they're just murdering all these people and women and building like this like body for Sheetar, and there's a talking brain. It's really weird. It's a weird movie.
Okay, I'll have to look it up. Have you ever seen like the sequels to Sleepaway Camp at all?
I've seen the second one. I haven't seen the others.
Okay. Well, yeah, the third one is and the Return to Sleepaway Camp is pretty terrible. So, but yeah, I brought a few movies. Well, I'd mentioned Insidious. I think what I was gonna say was like it's not a great movie, but it I don't know. It kind of got to me. I never watched the like sequels to it. what were the other Blumhouse movies? There was one where like the paranormal investigators came to someone's house and there was like a exorcism. Do you
Conjuring?
remember?
Was that
The Conjuring, yes. Didn't like that one.
I like Conjuring.
I didn't like it. I don't know.
I haven't seen the other ones though. I haven't seen like I didn't watch the Annabelle stuff, and I haven't seen the second one, and I haven't seen Nun and whatever else they've made. But the first, it was all right for what it was. It was a little too heavy-handed with the religious stuff, in my opinion.
Okay. Annabelle movies.
Haven't seen them.
Me neither.
Haven't seen them.
Man, I just kind of want to watch them just to see what they're about. So I heard that there's a movie called like The Boy, and someone has been wanting me to see that movie.
It's good. Don't watch the second one though. The first one's good.
Yeah.
The second one's terrible. It basically, the first one actually has an interesting. I'm not gonna spoil anything here. The first one has a very interesting premise, and in the second film, they bastardized the entire premise of the first movie. So don't watch the second one. Act like it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The second one has like Katie Holmes in it, and they were saying it was pretty dumb, and they don't even like carry on what was going on in the first one.
Correct. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So, let's see. Thoughts on the Chris Rock led Saw reboot?
They're rebooting Saw.
Huh.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big torture porn.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
I don't really care for the Saw movies. I don't know. Like I like a good gore scene, like in a horror film, but I don't know. Like it's just that whole like even like the Hostel films are kind of in that category. I don't really care for like just straight torture porn. I don't know. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, one day I'm gonna watch the Hostel movies just to have seen them, but not my thing either. What did you think of the Invisible Man?
It was good. I mean, I wouldn't really call. I would call it more of a sci-fi film, like almost like an episode of Black Mirror. I wouldn't really call it horror. I mean, the first maybe 45 minutes have some horror elements to it, but it's a good movie. It's worth watching. I actually that's one Gabby watched. She liked it too. We also watched The Hunt, which I really like. The Hunt. That's not a horror movie either, but that was a fun movie. So
okay. I don't know. Speaking of sci-fi horror, one of my favorite movies of all time, and there's a lot of people that are gonna, say like it's not a good movie, but Event Horizon. Like Event Horizon, just one of my favorite movies. It's kind of like Alien, where it's like a haunted house in space. Have you seen it or? Event
Horizon. I want to say I saw it way back in the day when it came out. I don't remember.
Okay.
That was was that like late 90s, like 90 around like 95 to 98ish.
Yes.
Okay. I think I would need to rewatch it because I think I saw it way like when I was like probably like a young teenager, and I haven't seen it since then.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's some creepy parts in there. There's like a part where so I like stuff about like black hole type science, even though it's not very scientific. They kind of try to be. Basically, they go into a black hole to find a ship called the Event Horizon, and but once you go to the Event Horizon, you're not the same coming back. And the original crew on the Event Horizon, they all went crazy and started like cannibalizing each other. And there's some scenes from the cannibalization. And supposedly there's a lot more film from that. But it all got put in like these Transylvanian salt mines, and it all like dissolved.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's kind of cool. I'll have to watch it again.
Yeah, definitely. Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror, is that a thing?
I think I don't know if it's a thing or not. If it is, I haven't seen it.
How are you on the Leprechaun movies?
I like the first one, the one with Jennifer Aniston.
Okay.
The second one is good. I'm not big on the space in the hood. Well, I think they did 2 in the hood. I think there was 2 ones in the hood.
Leprechaun in the Hood is like I love it so much.
Didn't they make 2 of them in the hood? I want to.
Yes, they did. I never watched the second one, but the Leprechaun has like a rap in it, and it's genius.
Yeah. What do you think about Leprechaun in Space?
I never saw that one. I haven't seen all the Leprechauns, but I do like those movies.
Yeah, I like the first and the second one. I've seen all of them at some point. I didn't see. Well, I haven't seen the newest one. I think it was the one they tried to take it a more serious tone. Like,
yeah,
I didn't watch that one.
Well, speaking of that, what about? I haven't seen the new Chucky, the one where he's like almost like a.
It's good. It's not. If you're a huge fan of the lore of the originals, you're gonna hate it because there's no voodoo. But for what it was good. It was more again that movie. They took it more of a technological standpoint as like a spiritual standpoint, and it was good. It was more again than like an episode of Black Mirror, I would say, less than a Chucky, like Child's Play, with the whole voodoo and the whole going into the doll, which is like a huge element of the story. So this was more of like an AI gone rogue sort of story.
That's what I'm hearing. I am disappointed that Brad Dourif didn't do the voice for him.
But it's Mark Hamill, and he does a great.
It's Mark Hamill. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. It was just disappointing when I heard. There's a reboot of Candyman coming out also. Are there any other franchises? I don't know if I'd like to see any other franchises rebooted. What about you?
It depends. I mean, I would more so like to see original stories being told.
Me too. I'm the same way. Man, I mean, there's certainly some movies that maybe could use a do-over if they're done correctly. I don't want to see some like half-ass effort, you know?
Tourist Trap. Tourist Trap is a movie that didn't get enough recognition back in its day. Tourist Trap is a movie I'd like to see remade.
Okay. I haven't seen the original.
Cool. Yeah, Tourist Trap. That would be my. I would watch it. I would watch a remake of Tourist Trap.
Okay. Did you see any of this? Is random, but the Jordan Peele not Tales from, but like what are they? Man, I can't think of the name of it. Like the short stories.
The Twilight Zone series.
Yeah, Twilight Zone. Yes.
I don't have the CBS streaming service. I don't pay for it.
Okay, right. Blake does, but I never even bought. They said it was just like pretty terrible. So
really, that's a shame because I love the original Twilight.
Me too.
And I thought with Jordan Peele doing it, it probably would be really good. But that's a shame to hear.
Yeah. But I mean, I always go back to Sleepaway Camp. That would be a fun one to do, just because it was I don't know, like even if you did it badly, it would probably come out. I don't know though, because like the original was so classic, you know, like you weren't expecting the end.
No, because it's one of those weird movies where, like, the protagonist for most of the film becomes the antagonist. It's really weird. Like, it's a really weird film. How that works.
And if you've seen the original, like, you know what the twist is going to be. So I don't really think that would work either.
Yeah, unless they could maybe like sex swap it, like, you know what I mean? Like, instead of a female, be a male. But then there would probably be an uproar. You know, with how the world is today, if they did that, and even still, it would be the same similar twist. I don't know. I don't know how you would do it and like maintain a shock to the audience that saw the original. Unless you weren't going for that, because there's probably a whole generation of people that are now in their 20s that have never seen that film. So
right. Okay. Let's see. We're almost at the hour and a half mark. I think we should leave it there. I mean, just because like things are kind of glitchy. But what are some recommendations, either for me or anybody else?
Oh my God, that's all. There's so many films, and whenever I get asked recommendations, I just draw a blank.
I know, me too.
I really like May. I'm sure May is a good film.
I have seen May. May is good.
That's a fun one. I'm trying to think of like some stuff. I mean, there's plenty of films. It's just you want to try to think of the ones that people haven't maybe seen. But
I would say I know a lot of people have seen like the Nicolas Cage Wicker Man that came out that was like awful, but it's funny because Nicolas Cage like does his like crazy thing. He like, I don't know, kicks women in the face and stuff. But watch the original. I believe it's on Netflix right now, and it is just an amazing film. And you don't really expect the twist at the end. Like everybody, okay, so it's about this cop that's investigating this town because there's a missing little girl, and I would say like the ending isn't really expected unless you're just really good at, you know, expecting twists. Some newer ones, I would always say Neon Demon, so good. Midsummer, Hereditary. You know, if you haven't seen those films, definitely those are some of the better ones that are coming. And I hear The Lighthouse is really good. I need to see it.
So a slasher film that I thought was really good that I enjoy is Terrifier. It's on Netflix. It's really gory. It has a very, very gory scene with a nude woman. So if you if you're going into it, it's very gory. But Terrifier is a good throwback to like 80s slasher films. House of the Devil is a good like satanic haunted house story. That came out, I want to say, like in 2007 or 8. But House of the Devil is good.
House of the Devil is excellent. Yes, I agree.
Trying to think, there was one other one that was on through my. If you're more into, me and Gabby just recently watched these, but The Lobster and The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Killing of a Sacred Deer is on Netflix, and The Lobster is, you'd have to buy it on Amazon.
I heard about The Lobster. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but it's not horror, but it's
like surreal, like it's like a black comedy, but you could almost put it in the horror. It's an unsettling film. And then my last recommendation for like if you're more into like real life stuff that could legitimately happen, The Green Room with actually it's Patrick Stewart in it. It's on Netflix right now. Green Room is really good. And actually that actor that got ran over by his car a couple years back, it was like one of his last films.
The Green Room is good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh man, there's like one more question. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But those are some good recommendations. Yeah, Green Room. I didn't expect to like it, but it was very good.
That's gory. That's a really gory movie.
Yeah. Oh man. I wish I could remember like some older like 80s stuff that's really good. That's maybe not so known, but yeah. Let's see. Any horror TV shows that I never got into AHS. Maybe I should. Like, is any of that good?
I enjoy it. There's certain seasons I didn't like. Like I didn't like the Freak Show season. What other season did I not really care for? I like the one about the Antichrist. That was like 2 seasons ago. I actually like the Cult series. A lot of people didn't like that one. I like the one about the cult. Yeah, it's a good show. I would recommend like binging on Netflix, Natalie. You can skip over Freak Show because that season, I don't know. I just didn't care for it. But yeah, season 1 is good. Season 3 is really good. It's overall just a good show. I'd recommend it.
Okay. D. Snyder's Strangeland. I remember seeing that at the movie store, and I'm like, that looks so stupid. But now it's kind of a cult classic, and I wish I had seen it.
And I remember like Marilyn Manson was like the main song for like the trailer, and like I never actually seen the film, but I remember the cover art. It was the girl with the spit mouth, right? Like on the VHS.
Yes, yeah, I remember that. Okay, so this is a really stupid movie, but I need to watch. I was told I have to watch it. It's called Veronica, and it's from Glenn Danzig is the director. I hear it's terrible. I've seen some scenes from it, and it doesn't look. It's basically like Glenn Danzig. Glenn Danzig is like an elderly man now, right? He's from the Misfits, and it looks like he basically just wanted like a bunch of like half nude women around him at all times. Like it's super creepy.
Yeah, Gabby's is in the Misfits. It's funny because I love horror movies. I
love the Misfits, but
never was huge into it. But she loves all that stuff. And it's funny because she hates horror, but she loves the Misfits and Danzig. So
yeah,
now it's in Spanish. It's subtitled film.
Hmm.
Oh, that's another one I want to watch, and I've heard good things about it. Have you seen what's it called? It's a subtitle movie. Dogtooth. It's on Shudder right now. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it's really good. It's from 2009. It's a Greek film.
Dogtooth.
Dogtooth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the recommendation I gave you about
Annihilation? Oh, the one on Amazon. I put it on, but then Gabby came home from work and I never finished it. Like it was like a found footage film, right?
Yeah.
From Australia. It was Australia.
Yes. Yeah. I would definitely give that a watch. Why can't I remember? It's the wine, y'all. Man, it was on Tubi too. If y'all watch like free movies there. Dang. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
I can look at the art because you sent me a
Lake Mungo. Mungo.
Yeah, I need to go back because I watched like the first 30 minutes and then she came home from work and I think we started making dinner and I just never
no, that's okay. Watch it when you get a chance. I think, don't you like that kind of like that horror like found footage stuff?
Yeah, I do. If it's done well. If it's done well.
Yeah.
Another, speaking of found footage films, one I'd recommend to you is the Poughkeepsie tapes. That movie is really unsettling.
What is it again?
I'll put it in the chat because it's
okay.
So like, I think it's on Amazon Prime for free. The Poughkeepsie tapes. It's really disturbing, like really, really disturbing. But it's done really well. It's a good movie.
Okay. I did watch the movie that you recommended. Was it called The Interview or something? It was on Netflix, or me and Blake watched it, and I don't know, it gets really good reviews, but I'm just like, man, there's a lot about it that I'm just like, I don't know if that would really happen, because okay, so these people go to someone's house as like an invitation to come over, and basically the people
that movie. Okay, I was sitting there wondering what the hell movie you're talking about that I recommended. But I don't remember yeah.
So they got into some cult in Mexico and they're like bringing it to the United States, and like they basically they want to like Jim Jones everyone or something. And I'm just like thinking, okay, there's so many things during the course of the night where all these people are like kind of light partying at this place in Los Angeles, and there's so many things like red flags where I would just be like, you know what, let's get the hell out of here. But they didn't, and then shit goes wild at the end.
Yeah. I think the reason why I really like that movie is because you think it's an isolated thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get into it, but like you think it's an isolated thing, and then they go outside after all the chaos has happened in the house.
The Invitation, not The Interview. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. Invitation. I was like, what the hell did I recommend? But like at the end, where you just see red lanterns all over the LA sky.
Yes.
So like it was like this really big thing, and like all these people are dead now. I think that's why it stuck with me, because it was like, and I mean, I think I'm not going to get into anything, but I think there's a group of people now where if someone were to tell them to take their lives, they'd probably do it, and we'd have millions and millions of Americans that would kill themselves. So
you're probably right.
You know, I don't think it's that far fetched, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right. No, I get what you're saying. Well, okay, we have gone a little over an hour and a half. Thank you so much for doing this with me. Like, this is so fun. There's, a couple of glitches there, and it was kind of rough, but I appreciate it a lot. Thanks, Justin.
Oh, anytime. It was a lot of fun. It's fun to like kind of talk about movies and not like the crappy shit that I sell every day.
And thanks, chat, for coming on and commenting. I really appreciate you guys being here. Didn't see any trolls. I have no wrenches right now. But yeah, no trolls. I got really lucky. So thanks, guys. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for having me, Natalie.
Thanks for coming on. Bye.